Okay, so here we are, we're back again. So we're still thinking about healthy habits and we're thinking about how to succeed, and this time we're going to think more specifically around our work roles or our main productive role. So it's the same question as before. I want you to think about what are the activities for you in a typical day or regularly that you want to attend to. The highest priority activities that you want to attend to. And in the last video I asked you to create a list of those things. What are the main things you want from life? This is about the main things that need to happen in your workday for it to be healthy, positive, successful and productive. And probably the best way to tackle this question is to start, write a wee list. So grab a bit of paper and start to think, what are the things that when I'm attending to them regularly, they're the highest priority things, they keep me happy and healthy in work. And the activities that when I'm doing them regularly and keeping on top of myself, keeping on top of them, I'm on my game. Okay, so we want to have you doing those activities that really keep you on your game. And again, you could do the same activity. You could have your timetable, if you think about the last video, of the days of the week, and you could scribble out any times you don't actually work. So when do you not work and when do you absolutely not want to work? Scribble any of those times out, and first of all you'll be left with then is the time that's available for work activity. And then the next task, as I've just said, is think about the main tasks in your job. So when I'm doing my job, I'll think a bit about any meetings I need to attend. Anything, I usually think about anything not related to the work, to the face-to-face contact first. I'll think about meetings I have to attend to, time when I might have to write and record notes, times when I might have to do any other non-work activity, supervision example, all these things, when I supervise other people, when I do talks. So I'll put all these things, block them all out first, and then what it gives me is the time I've got available to actually do the job, the face-to-face people bit. So you could do something similar. Think about all the non-work related tasks that just have to get done week to week, day to day, and then the block out the time you've got for the main part of your job. And whilst you're doing this, start to think what would be ideal in a day. So think about not what you do now, but perhaps if you could do your work life as you'd like to and create an ideal image of your work life, what would that look like for you? Why not start setting your stall out with the ideal image? Because when you have a new start, it's a great opportunity, and you can create a new start at any time where you set your stall out as you plan to do things, but then you have to create habits that are going to really help you sustain that. So that's the challenge. So we're working at the moment on the theory, not the application, and we'll come back to the application. What in an ideal world would you like any workday to look like? What would it involve? So I'm going to give you some examples. It might be that you want to start your day with half an hour just to check your plans for the day, to read any relevant emails, make any calls related to what you can do that day, or attend to any high priority activities that will prepare you for your day. It might be that you want to make sure you block out lunchtime, or write in your diary that it's lunch and that you maybe at that time are going to leave your desk to go and make sure you eat properly away from your work, or that you can leave your work environment and get fresh air, or you're going to go spend time with someone that tops you up. So think about the habits around that as another example. It might be that you want to create time after every main task you do to do the mop up or the tying up loose ends, so that you don't have lots of loose ends to deal with later. So it might be, for example, for me, coaching a client, then that's great. But if I've agreed and committed to doing anything between sessions or doing some research for people, then I want to go away and do that, so that piece of work's finished before I see my next client. So that's an example. So tying up loose ends, and then it might be that you want to finish your work day having some time to just, finish the day with bits and pieces that need done to get you ready for the next day, finalise any actions, make any calls. And also what I want you to write in this timetable is the time of the day you need to leave the office. Write that in, record that, because we want you to stay accountable. We don't want you to stay over. We want you to know that you can leave work. Okay, so that's your first task, is stopping and really thinking about the tasks involved in your day that need attention, and the time available to do that. And before you start booking in your work time, we want the helpful habits. We want the stuff that will help you finish and end your day as you need to, and also give you the breaks and the habits, the time with people you need, the time for lunch, the other stuff. That's when you can start to think about what else. Okay, so I want you to be clearer. I want you to be clear on the biggest challenges you're facing. I want you to be clear on how long things really take you, not what you think they take, but what they actually take. And I want you to be clearer on what's actually previously already worked. I think it's really important that we don't just make an assumption that you don't know how to make this really, really work. You probably, in fact, I'm confident that you'll have been really good at this at some point in life, in your work life, or in one area of life, and perhaps you can transfer what you already know. So what are your biggest challenges for getting stuff done and managing your time? It might be, I'll give you some examples, and you can decide what should be and what's relevant to you. It might be that you get easily distracted from tasks, maybe your phone or emails popping up, or somebody comes to talk to you. It might be that it's procrastination that gets in the way, and particularly my sense is that when big challenges come along, that perhaps what a lot of us do is we kind of leave that to the last, but actually it's the thing you probably need to tackle first, get out the way, and then everything else is really doable in comparison. It might be that you need to delegate more. Perhaps you have habits in your day that don't actually support you. Things you do that are just a smokescreen when really you're just diverting yourself from what you really need to be doing. Perhaps you've got a feeling that you don't have enough time. Maybe you're unrealistic about how long things really take. People who are good at multitasking are very, very, very good at doing lots of things but not really getting lots of things finished. And then because we don't get things finished, we're unrealistic sometimes about how long things take. And sometimes things don't actually take as long as we think. My challenge is I'm an optimist and an opportunist. So I try to do more than I really can, and I underestimate how long things take. But what a lot of people do is they overestimate, think things will take longer than they do, and they just don't. And that in itself can hold you back. Sometimes we approach tasks with a feeling of this won't get done or this will be hard. And maybe we're just making stuff up. So being realistic about how long things take is important. Okay, so what else do I want to say to you? I guess I want to remind you about something. Sometimes we think we're going to do a task, but what we're really thinking about is a project. And this is something I really learned from my business coach, and she taught me that any activity that requires more than 2 actions isn't an activity, it's a project.